Hello everyone, welcome back to Locke's Quest. Today we'll be taking on we'll be going to Antonia, and we'll be seeing a lot of cutscenes today. There's only one action scene, which is a literal tower defense section. So, look forward to that. As you can see, Antonia is kind of a busy city. It's the capital of the well, next to the capital. There is a city that we won't go to, but the king lives there, and we will see the king later on. But at the moment, Antonia is basically the biggest city in the entire game, and it's the only place where you can actually go to rest your character to rest. You don't actually have an inn or anything, but it's just like if you were actually in war, it's the only place to rest, because everywhere else, clockworks will attack. Clockworks are actually attacking Antonia right now. So, in order to stop the clockworks, Antonia has a much better defense system than just the Araneers attacking them back with source and walls. Instead, you're actually going to have to do a tower defense section. The tower defense section... words and nose nasally. Anyway, Locke has just been drafted into being in this tower defense section. The way that this tower defense section works is that you have a certain amount of days that you're going to have to do this section. Over your time of the day, you're going to upgrade your structures. As you can see, I skipped over the tutorial of the actual tower defense. First off, as the days go on, clockworks will constantly attack your tower, and you have to defeat them. There are upgrades that you can get that will allow you to do double damage, triple damage, and shoot more than just one cannonball. You'll also be able to use Kingdom Force Knights to help defend things. That Kingdom Force Knight is actually a shielder, which means that he takes a lot of damage and defends the enemies from getting close to the base. I didn't use him in time, so I did take a lot of damage. As you can see, my structure is also not the common wood that we're usually using. Instead, it's steel/metal. That's the third type of material that we'll be able to use. As you saw in the last part, some of the walls, if you're paying attention, during the boss fight of the last part was actually were actually made of stone. That's the next one we're gonna get. After stone we get steel, and after steel we get another one. Acid Touch is another ability that we get, and there are four abilities in the game that Locke can use when attacking enemies. Acid Touch adds an acidic effect to the enemy, making them erode over time. It's like when he punches people, he does the acid tripwire effect on the individual enemy. However, it's not a mass effect, not the game, but a massive effect. It's not a mass effect, so it only affects the one enemy that Locke is attacking at the time. So it's only really good for one-on-one-ing bosses. Mixing that with the other two abilities that we get later on will actually help you a lot if you can time it just right. So this is Keenan. He is actually the leader of the Araneers. He is very British. I'm sorry to anyone who is watching me and is actually British. I mean, he looks more kingly than anything, or maybe like a chancellor. I don't know. I never really paid attention to that type of stuff. Anyway, Locke actually mentioned back there that his parents were in the war. We'll get more into Locke's backstory as the game goes on, but for right now, Keenan's going to investigate Locke's parents to understand when they actually were in the war, because Keenan doesn't actually remember it. I don't know how in the world you would ever remember every last person that is in a war, but whatever, Keenan. Now here's a small thing that really is annoying if you haven't played the game once, and this is why I recommend, if you actually haven't played the game before, you should actually go ahead and look around the tower or the Araneer Hall. Basically, what's about to happen is Keenan is about to give us a test, by which it's just a test to make sure that we're up on our Araneer history. It's like a citizenship test for the United States. You have to know United States history. Anyway, why I'm so nasally? It's the middle of summer. Anyway, when you haven't played the game before, you probably won't understand the questions that he's talking about unless you've unless you just use common sense and you just think about the game's logic so far, if you're able to even get a hold of it at the moment. What you want to do if you haven't played is you want to walk around the Araneer Hall and just look at the exhibits and ask the general people, like how you can see if you tap on the people with the stylus, you can actually talk to them, and you want to talk to them to get information about the Araneers and the history of Kingdom Force and the Araneers, so that way you can answer the questions efficiently. Keenan won't ask the same questions each time, so it's not like you can know that you just know the information way before you even get there. You actually have to know what different types of information, because he will ask several different questions with each one. Heathern is actually another main character, because she gets a portrait, as you can tell. We won't really do much with her until... I'm gonna let everyone make their joke off that. Anyway, we won't really do much with her until way later on in the game, near the end actually. By that point, it really shows just how like, I really do feel that they really wanted to expand this game, but they just couldn't, because of the system it's on. Plus, it's THQ, and while THQ does make good games, THQ also isn't exactly in the green as far as money, as I've heard. Unless they've gotten really gotten better as far as their monetary situation. Each question has a different answer, and that one that I answered back there, the spiked walls, those are actually the strongest type of walls we'll get, and that's why I didn't want to mention it earlier, but the spiked walls are a mixture between the wood walls, the stone walls, and the steel walls, but we won't get those till a good bit later on. And when we use them, it'll actually be kind of ironic on how we use them. Or not, yeah, I guess ironic. Anyway, after the quiz, if you pass all the questions, I know that you can just go on and that you get your Araneer badge basically, and now you're an official Araneer trainee. We're about to head on to our campaigns in the north, as far as the game is concerned. And this is actually a new super ability, or a super ability, Lightning. This is the ability that I use mostly throughout the game. Keenan is explaining it here, but if you want to hear me say it, the lightning, all you do is you just fill up the screen around your health bar, the little bar around there, and then you press the button, and bam, you start shooting lightning. And then you have to press the button at the bottom of the screen multiple times and like tap it, not press it, but you have to tap it. Tap the button multiple times, and you'll do more damage to the enemies around you. It's a good ability, and it's really good for defending yourself from massive hordes that are coming through. And usually clockworks will go down pretty easily to it. Also, by the way, none of these abilities actually level up, so you can't actually do more damage. You're going to do the same amount of damage on any clockwork. That's the good and bad of all of these abilities. I mean, the clockworks get stronger, yeah, they do more damage to lock, and they do more damage to your walls, but as you get higher types of walls, I guess, the clockworks won't do as much damage to it. For example, we'll be meeting up with a different colored clockwork later on in the game, and they will start doing more damage to your wood walls, but by then you have stone. Well, actually, no, stone. We won't meet those till we have stone walls. So never mind. They'll do more damage to your stone walls, and then after that, after we meet those clockworks, we'll already have steel walls, so they won't do as much damage. These characters coming from the north are actually coming from where we're going. The clockworks have destroyed their native land, I should say, and the sad part about it is that their village is gone. And I guess this is actually a good way to show just how much war can affect even the general populace and the civilians that aren't usually in the conflict. Isaiah, like a douchebag, says anyway in relation to the woman that was just telling him how they can't win. I say like a douchebag because Isaiah kind of just nonchalantly shoved her off and didn't really like say anything consoling to her. If you want to do the siege, it's perfectly fine. I usually do it just to show off the other types of clockworks. I believe we're going to see green clockworks here. As you can see, I am back at steel walls. By the way, you do start off with wood walls. Don't think that you're going to start off with steel. Steel is actually after you do a few health upgrades. And now I have 3 shots. 3 shots means I can shoot 3 bullets at the same time. And that's the next boss we'll be meeting up later. I mean. Being later. We're gonna be meeting up with him later, and he is a charger type boss. Actually, no, is he the next boss? He's actually a boss later on in the game, actually. So we get to see a new boss really early. Because I remember now what the next boss is. He's not the charger type boss yet. Not till much later. He's probably one of the harder bosses, actually, just due to what he does, but these clockwork colors, I don't believe we ever see these type of clockwork colors in the game. And this is a really good track. One thing I like about Locke's Quest is the tracks of the game. And I really do feel that this game has a really good soundtrack that deserves a download if you can find the OST somewhere without the background noise, because a lot of the there's no real way to rip any of these songs to my knowledge. And after we complete that siege, we also get a we also get a lot of source, and we get to move on. And that source is added to your general inventory as source, which you can use on the next area. So it's good to do that siege just when you're about to go to the next campaign area. We won't be needing that dot for a while. Anyway, next time, or tomorrow, I mean, or Monday, I think, because today's Friday when I'm recording this, we'll be heading on to the beginning of our northern campaign. I'll see you all then, and the screen is not black because I went over time. Stupid me.